was the name of that channel?
Audience channel.
I got you live on Periscope, man.
Oh, live on Periscope.
Yes.
Nice.
These guys are talking gambling, huh?
Well, just lines.
You guys wager. Yeah, you're talking lines,
from
of course.
time to time. You got Coach Schwartz is out doing his workout.
Yeah, he's already on the track.
Check him out.
But I do admit losses as well. And last night we got robbed on Jason Sosa. It was terrible.
Hey, you view that as a robbery, right? That majority
I think it was
decision?
a bad card. What do you think, Doug?
Listen, I thought the fight would have been close without the knockdown and the point deduction. With the knockdown and the point deduction, I thought there's no way Sosa loses this fight. Okay. So of course he loses the fight.
Terrible.
Congratulations, boxing.
I mean,
and that was Don Trella, by the way, with the Dookie card.
That guy's cost me so much this year.
How do you find 8 rounds for Yuriorkis Gamboa?
That means he gave him every round besides the knockdown round and the point deduction round in the 10th. It's just absurd.
Yeah. It cost you on the Triple G Canelo fight, too.
Between Triple G and Sosa, this guy's really frustrated me beyond belief this year. But I really thought Sosa deserved it, maybe 95-93. That's 5-5 in rounds.
Yeah.
And the point deductions.
Right.
And one thing about Trella with both Triple G and Sosa, he doesn't score the harder blows. When these guys are landing hard blows, both Canelo and Gamboa were arm punching at times, a lot. Right. Maybe that's not fair to Canelo the last couple rounds, but there was a lot of arm punching from Gamboa the last
Definitely
few rounds.
Gamboa, yeah. He was definitely arm
I don't
punching.
get it. It's frustrating. But
it seems like the folks who, in Trella's eye, the boxer who just gets off in spurts and spots here and there, and then is trying to avoid contact for the rest of the round, he digs that. Yeah. I call that stinker worship. It's a big problem in boxing.
I agree with you, Dougie. And also 98-92 was his card.
Everyone's still, by the way, everyone is still obsessed with Lomachenko and Rigondeaux. And somebody asked, hey, Smelodies OG, ask that question again. It came and went too fast for me to read. It's early in the morning for me. I love that shirt, man.
Yeah, this is the one, Rival. I don't know, is it?
Damn.
Nice shirt.
Now, how about this one right here? You got we got Jordan.
We got the Jordan.
Jordan on the arm.
We got the
Air Jordan on the arm.
We got the Kazakh flag here. This is one of those limited edition sweatshirts.
That is badass.
Sold out. Sold out like in 3 hours.
Cat Clemens Music says, "What did y'all think about Gamboa Sosa? Gamboa Sosa. Yeah, we thought Gambi should have lost."
I agree with JP and you, Doug. I agree that with those point deductions, it should have gone to Sosa's.
Yeah, to me that was just a clincher. And I'm not even saying that point deduction in round 10 was fair to Gamboa. Ron Lipton was rather heavy-handed as an official, as the third man in the ring. But I'm just saying, to me, it's about Sosa. To me, Sosa was the fighter in there, working hard and getting work done. Yeah.
It was crazy.
And I don't understand it. There's too much. And sometimes not referees, but judges go the opposite direction where they give too much credit to the guy coming forward.
Good morning to you, Jacob.
And I think we saw that with Joseph Parker against
Fury, exactly.
Fury, right?
Yes.
Where the aggressor wasn't all that effective. And you had 2 judges bending over backwards for him. But more often than not these days, with controversial decisions, you have an aggressive boxer versus a somewhat evasive boxer. And it's the evasive boxer that's getting the benefit of the doubt in every, not only close round, but every competitive round.
This decision sucked, Doug.
And back in the day,
This is terrible.
Back in the day, when some guy's avoiding the fight, people used to say he's stinking it out. He stunk out the joint.
Right.
So now I call it #stinker worship. Whenever we have that with the official scorecards.
So we got like 40 or 50 people logging on. You guys writing questions for Doug, or we are graced with Tom's presence for a few minutes.
The podcast. I was in town. Yeah. It's a little bit overcast, so I had to wear the sweatshirt today.
All right, Tom, I'm going to interview you real quick.
Yeah.
2 days in Mexico. All of that social media, all those photos, that was just 2 days.
Only 2 days
in Mexico. Run us through it real quick. The tour, Triple G's tour in Mexico.
We landed on Sunday. Went straight from the airport to the stadium. Went to Azteca Stadium, the historic stadium where Chavez had, 130,000, 132,000.
For Greg Haugen in 1993.
Yeah. And so when you walk in there and just even getting through the security, getting into the stadium, was hard because all the security guys wanted photos with Triple G and autographs, and then going through, and then as soon as if he would stop for one photograph, and then people would just like be surrounding him. So we went to a suite, and he was watching the game, and then they invited him on the field with his WBC title belt at halftime as part of a Mexican Hero celebration. So he was next to one of the historic sprinters, female sprinter was there. One of the football greats was there that he was standing next to. He got that photo with him, raising his hand, and people were chanting his name, chanting Triple G.
In Azteca Stadium.
In Azteca Stadium,
That's
yeah.
epic.
So it was pretty cool. When we were walking out, of the tunnel, because people weren't expecting it, when we were walking out of the tunnel, and the people, like, right there, they saw him, and they were going nuts, chanting his name, and, the Raiders fans were going crazy. And
Golovkin did some charitable work, and there was something with the WBC
that was the main,
as well.
Yeah. Going through the lineup, then the main thing was going to the hospital the next day. That was on Monday, and he went to a children's hospital, the cancer ward, which is that's when you go on a tour like that, that's a really tears your heartstrings, And Gennady, he was there for literally like 2 hours, just going around saying hi to the kids and passing out toys. He was there with Mauricio Suleiman.
Right.
He was there with the Minister of Health from Mexico City, and so he really has a connection with the Mexican people and Mexican fans and the Mexican media. And then he went to go see the governor. Governor made him an honorary citizen, as a special ambassador for Mexico City. Gave him a declaration, and we went to the city. It's a historic building that was built a long time ago, and it survived the earthquake with no problem at all, no cracks or anything. It was built really solid. So we met the governor. He did the presentation there, and then we went on ESPN, Deportes with Chava Rodriguez down there, and so he did the interview on ESPN, and so it was a great trip.
Yeah, it sounds fruitful, especially in terms of public relations. Would you say, Triple G was always popular among Mexican Americans, particularly in Southern California, here in the U.S., but would you say post-Canelo fight, his name recognition among Mexican citizens is more now than it was last year?
100%. In Mexico, Mexican nationals, they really have gravitated towards him because they respect his character, but also his style, and the connection with Abel. Abel is, Mexican descent, born in Mexico actually, and taught him the Mexican style, pressure style that some of those judges don't like to score. JP. But and then Gennady, he kind of downplayed it, but he made a donation for the earthquake relief fund, Carlos Slim, that matched it, and so like I said, he just has a connection with the support of the Mexican fans, and he wanted to go down there. The president of WBC invited him to come down there, and they had organized pretty much the trip down there, and so he accepted the invitation. He was in China with Jack Ma the week before,
right?
And so I put on Twitter is like Gennady does more really as an ambassador for the sport of boxing.
Yeah.
When he's not fighting, then most fighters, when they have a fight, they're trying to promote a fight.
Right.
They don't, a lot of guys lock themselves in a training camp and don't do any interviews. And Gennady's out there.
They won't even get on a conference call.
Doing
Some
these
fighters.
type of public appearances and really promoting. That's what I like to say. When he's sold out all the arenas, I think like 8 arenas in a row now.
Yeah.
He's really bringing new fans to the sport of boxing.
His
Newer.
stature grows with every fight. There was a time, let's say just 2 years ago, Dave and I would, be at a Trader Joe's or something, and we always have something boxing related on. So if the person across the counter is a boxing fan, they'll say, "Oh, you're into boxing," and I'll say, "Yeah, you're a fan," and they would say, "Yeah," and we would talk about their favorite fighters, and we would bring up Gennady Golovkin, and they'd be like, I don't think I've heard of him. It was just like 2 years ago, or 3 years ago.
That's why people just say Triple G
or we'd
now.
say Triple G, and they'd be like, "Yeah, I think," But they would talk Pacquiao, or even Nonito Donaire,
or Joe Louis.
Or an older fighter. If they're of Mexican descent, maybe Salvador Sanchez,
right.
Or obviously Chavez or whatever. But the last year and a half or so, everyone knows who Triple G is.
Well, we're selling, with the Brook fight in the UK, and then the Jacobs fight selling out
Right.
the Garden again. at the Garden, and then
this year was huge.
And then Canelo, you know, it's just really brought both their careers to a different level.
It's definitely a breakthrough year.
Sure, you can. Go ahead, guys. These guys are. They say
questions
Tom
coming
looks.
in?
Yeah, Tom has. A lot of people have questions. They say Tom looks really tall on this Periscope. Maybe it's Doug's new phone. I don't know.
It's because I'm kind of
Yeah.
short.
But you heard it from Tom, you guys. So they said, not Canelo. Triple G was on the field during a celebration for Heroes of Mexico.
That's true.
Heroes of Mexico. He's a hero in Mexico.
Yeah,
So is Canelo, but Triple G.
Canelo's getting around too, though. He's doing his European tour.
Yeah.
This is more of a
Gennadi's in
vacation
Mexico
tour.
and Canelo's in Europe.
Yeah. Hey,
Big cross.
meeting the Pope is a big deal.
That is a big deal.
Tom, would you say, this is from Chris, is Triple G a bigger star in Mexico than Canelo?
I can't say that. I mean,
Yeah.
Canelo, of course, has his Mexican fan
And
base.
Mexico is a big country.
Big country,
You know,
yeah.
I mean, there's Guadalajara is not the same as Mexico City.
I would
Mexico
say-
City
I
not
would
the same as
venture to say,
Baja
though,
area or whatever.
When Canelo fought Chavez, there was definitely two distinct fan bases
Yes,
there.
you're right.
You know, Chavez a little bit more of the hardcore boxing fans and the Chavez legacy, and Canelo was a little bit more of the younger
Right.
demographic potentially. So I would say the Chavez fans probably gravitated towards the Triple G side.
Yeah.
Because there's some you know, people don't really connect with Canelo, but Canelo, you know, you can't look. He's put 50,000 people in Cowboy Stadium when he fought Liam Smith, so you know he definitely has a huge fan base, you know, primarily based in Mexico, and you can't take anything away from what he's accomplished.
There's so many questions being fired in for Tom and Doug. I can't even keep up. I'll just start with a few of them, and guys, if I don't ask them, please just rewrite it because you guys are writing quickly. Tom and Doug, predictions for Lemieux and Saunders. Could Triple G fight the winner?
I think absolutely, particularly if Saunders wins. And
He's
I think
been-
it's a toss-up fight.
He's been chasing that WBO title for a long time. I agree with Doug. You know, if Lemieux wins, it's going to be hard to sell the rematch because Gennady was so dominant in that fight. I mean, even though Lemieux, arguably, I guess you could say he learned from that fight.
Sure.
And if he beats a guy like Saunders, then he'll be, you know, back on a big streak. But I think it's a 50-50 fight, but I lean a little bit towards Saunders if he's in shape.
Yeah.
If he uses his boxing ability, if he doesn't sit there and trade with. If he doesn't sit there and trade with Lemieux.
Okay.
But then you got Lemieux, it's in his hometown of
Right.
Montreal, and you got very
That might be
passionate
the
fans.
difference.
You got
Yeah.
passionate Canadian fans in Montreal as well. We had a great reception when we fought Lemieux.
I think Saunders, his activity or lack thereof is a factor, and the fact that this is not in the UK, it's in Montreal. I think that might just slightly edge it for Lemieux.
Okay.
And I love Saunders in that fight.
You love Dave. Coach Dave loves
Yeah.
Saunders in that
He's
fight.
going to win a real wide
Wow.
decision.
In Montreal. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think Lemieux's that great. I think he's overrated. I think he's really good, but I think that Saunders can neutralize him. And it also is about that he hasn't been fighting, but I think Saunders is really a great boxer. Totally neutralize him.
Coach, you got a rock and roll soundtrack behind you.
Yeah.
You got his
Yeah.
backup. music.
Same song.
You know, Saunders, just to build on what Coach was saying, is that he's got two great wins over Andy Lee and Chris Eubank Jr. So
Bernie wants to tell you, Coach Dave, you're facts. You're speaking facts only, Bernie says.
I'm kind of thinking Lemieux by a close decision.
A lot of
Where,
people.
like-
it really depends on how the styles match
Yeah.
up. If Lemieux can catch him, then he could
A lot
hurt
of
him.
people
But
agreeing
he
with
could just
Coach.
get in there and outwork
A lot
him.
of people writing in right now agreeing
Yeah.
with Coach.
No,
Coach Dave is
I
right.
think Saunders is terrific, and I think he could take a shot. But Lemieux, a motivated Lemieux in Montreal, that's a lot to deal with.
This guy wants to know predictions for Eubanks Groves. Could Triple G fight the winner of that? I'll go say I think Eubanks is going to win. What do you guys think?
I would
think
go
I slightly
with
favor
Eubank
Eubank
also.
Jr.
Yeah, I'll go with Eubank also, and that would be a great fight. Whoever wins that tournament would be a great fight for Triple G.
At 168.
I mean, we had that history with Eubank. We were trying to do that Eubank fight last year.
Right.
We couldn't make it happen, but if Eubank beats Groves, which I would lean towards Eubank also.
And the winner of that tournament would be a bigger star at that point.
Absolutely.
And I
100%.
love Eubanks big in that fight.
You do?
Big.
Okay, you and me.
Yeah. And then I'd love to see Triple G and Eubanks because I think this time they can make that fight.
Danny wants to know if Callum fights Eubank in the final. You got a lot of UK supporters, Doug. It's a good fight, Callum and Eubank. I don't know, Danny.
Callum would have to box real careful. He'd have to use that height and reach. He'd have to move.
Skoglund put some hands on him.
Say goodbye. Say goodbye to LeVar.
Hey, see you guys.
See ya.
All right, have a good weekend.
Have a good Sunday.
Hey, see you,
God
LeVar.
bless. See you next week.
Take it easy.
You too. Happy holidays.
We'll see you next week.
a boxer, man. We're gonna get
All right. Hey, thanks for letting my son lift up the ball. He's working on his strength.
Stay in your lane.
He lifted up the 8-pounder higher than he did.
Yeah.
I swear, ask your wife.
He's working on his strength.
Yeah, say hi. Say thanks to Trump. Hey, so let me just let me just tell you about Kovalev.
Kovalev, yeah. What was your thoughts last night?
Loved Kovalev.
Okay.
I mean, I was a Kovalev hater before.
Okay.
So this is what I think. I think he went to rehab.
You do, okay.
Yeah, because all the things, the way he came out, I watched the whole press conference after the fight. He was incredible. His English was really good. He had a whole different outlook and everything. There's he really had a problem with John David Jackson. I think they were the wrong mix. I think that it really hurt him. He looked great. I can't wait to see him fight again. And he seemed like, and he was talking about it. He wasn't in denial that he had a problem. It was really good. It was refreshing. He was good. He's a solid boxer. He's got the great jab. And the other guy had, you can't really judge off that because the other guy just
never got started. But I tell you what, Kovalev's punching technique seemed a little sharper than it has in recent years.
Yeah,
to the body.
He seemed faster.
Yeah, he seemed
and there
good.
seemed a little bit more torque and snap on the end of his shots. But
even
God,
with,
Shabransky, you could close your eyes and say, "Here comes a right," and it would hit him. You could go this slow, and Shabransky would get hit with that right hand because
even with Shabransky, even if he wasn't on the highest level, like Coach was saying, you still got to close out the fight.
Yeah.
You know? Kovalev looked very impressive in his comeback win. And,
he was good. So now what we have to do is Kovalev's going to, he's going to have some big fights. He looked incredible. I want to see the third fight with Andre Ward.
Oh, don't say it.
No.
Leave him retired, Coach.
No, I think he'll come back.
But he said he's not going to fight in Las Vegas anymore. He said he likes New York.
Oh, man.
No, but if
You're torturing me.
No, but I was
with Don Trella judging. That'll make sure I don't watch it.
Let me ask you, so what do you think about Don Trella?
Well, as you were doing your laps, I was saying Don Trella's cost me more money this year. I want to send the guy a bill for gambling winnings. This guy.
I know,
this guy's
crazy.
terrible. This was a horrible decision.
Crazy.
It was as bad. To be honest, I think the Triple G decision was worse, but this was a bad decision last night. I don't like it at all. I was furious. The question here is, ask Tom, is Kovalev, well, we can answer this all. Kovalev is not with Abel Sanchez, right?
No, he did train with Abel.
Okay.
Years ago.
He was 8-0 with 8 knockouts with Abel. But then he had moved on to John David Jackson. So they had a lot of success together. Abel has a very kind of strict training camp and regimen and everything like that, and it just didn't seem like it meshed. But I agree with Dave that with this new trainer, it just seemed like for whatever reason he seemed like a new guy.
It's a good training situation too, because he's in Oxnard. And he's with all those Russians and Ukrainians, and he's training around Lomachenko. He's training around, I think, Vozdek is also there, and Usyk.
Yep.
He trains there too, as well.
He trained there for the two fights here in the U.S.
Yeah, when he's fighting in the U.S., he trains
there.
there.
For the Bridas fight coming up, he's training in
Ukraine. That makes sense.
When he's training in Ukraine, he's looked great. He beat. He won the title in Poland against.
Well, I follow Alexander on social media, so he puts a lot of exercise stuff up there. So he's a beast in the
his
gym.
last fight, he looked very good.
But those guys, I don't think Kovalev is used to working out as hard as a Lomachenko. So to be around this little marvel like that's good motivation for him. Yeah.
That's the way Triple G is, same thing. When guys are up there, they learn from him. So I'm sure with Lomachenko up there, with his father and everything, they just provide a whole different system and just a different level of training.
This guy wants to know, would Gennady ever consider 175 to fight Kovalev? That's pretty high in weight, right?
Yeah, we're gonna try to get a Canelo at 160. Then
everyone's got Kovalev on the brain right now.
I want to make the unofficial announcement.
Okay. What's your prediction here?
No prediction. This is for real.
Okay.
May 5th, Las Vegas. Canelo, Triple G, HBO pay-per-view. It's a done deal.
Oh,
Cinco
okay.
The announcement's
Mayo.
coming out.
That's a party
Coach.
right there.
Okay. I mean, this is unofficial, but it's official.
Okay.
The announcement's coming out within 10 days.
Can you do me a favor, Coach? Can you talk to my wife and make sure she doesn't have the baby on Cinco de Mayo weekend? Please? Because I want to see this
I
fight
feel a
badly.
lot better, Coach. I feel a lot better if Eric Gomez was standing next to you.
No, but it's done. It's a done deal.
Okay.
They have to make it. I know Canelo, he's been away, but
I
they
hope
need
you're
a
right.
little
I'm
time.
excited.
Nah, it's for sure.
It's
The only thing is, I wish it wasn't in Vegas, but it's going to be in Vegas.
Well, don't worry, because Errol Spence promised you he will be the one to bring a big fight to
Texas?
one
It's-
day.
it's
He
not-
said, he
it's-
tweeted this week. He said one day he will,
Yeah.
maybe him and Crawford one day, years down the line. He wants, because he's.
That's
yeah.
a good fight, yeah.
I know you want your Texas Stadium
No,
fight.
I want it for Triple G,
I know you do.
but maybe the third fight.
Maybe.
Because I'm not sure. I mean, I was so sure the first Triple G Canelo fight was going to be a knockout.
Right.
This one, I'm not so sure it's going to be a knockout. I know Triple G is going to win,
Okay.
but I don't know if it's going to be a knockout.
Well, what's interesting, as we talked about last week, is that the odds, after all that and the controversy of the first fight, the odds are actually similar to the first match, which is minus 165 Triple G, which is give or take, pretty close. I know Fight Week it dropped closer,
That's
but
fair.
fair.
Which means the odds maker also thought that he won the fight.
Yeah.
They agreed with Harold Letterman,
Yes.
8 rounds to 4.
Yeah,
That's-
8 rounds.
Everybody.
That's the sober scorecard. Come on.
I know that we are going over old territory, but Triple G was the live betting favorite the whole fight.
Yeah.
He went to minus 200 right before the fight, so the sharp money was on Gennady the whole time.
And what was it after the fight, before the decision?
Oh yeah, they had a bet on will Triple G win right before the decision was announced, and I think he was
They did? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like live wagering.
live
Yeah.
wagering
Yeah.
before. It's really quick after the final bell, but before the cards.
Probably
so
4-1.
No, I think it was maybe it was high. It was 4
Yeah.
or 5 to 1. I'd have to go back and look at my notes, but that was a shocker.
I wonder if any of the judges
Who did
took
Don
that
Trella
live
bet on?
wager.
Yeah.
Who did Don Trella bet on?
Yeah. A few years ago, there was a fight. It was Danny Garcia versus Lamont Peterson, and they were doing that live wagering thing. But the Box Nation feed, whoever the equivalent of Michael Buffer had his mic on.
Oh,
So the odds started to swing drastically because the guy muttered, "Oh, okay, it's Garcia by majority."
Oh, jeez.
on the mic. And so everybody
That's
knew.
good.
And I was trying to hit it.
Well, we got a show coming up, JP,
we
that's
go.
going to cure your complaints
We're ready.
about the judges that score for boxers. Salito versus Roman.
Right.
I
There's no
love it.
boxer. That's going to be a pure Mexican-style
Two
fight.
fighters.
Both guys coming forward. All action-packed. That's going to be December 9th.
December 9th.
In Las Vegas, Mandalay Bay. It's going to be warm. The weather forecast 70 degrees up there in Las Vegas
beautiful.
in December. So anyone that wants to come over, Stephen Smith's going to be there. He's supposed to bring a lot of fans from the UK.
What's
He's
the
on show.
co-feature of that fight?
The co-feature is for the vacant IBF title.
Is that
Tevin Farmer.
Oh, that's Tevin Farmer.
Tevin Farmer, yeah,
versus who?
Ogawa.
Going to be a good
Ogawa.
fight.
Yeah, he's
Man.
with Tycoon Promotions.
Right.
And then
Stephen Smith.
Stephen Smith is going to
Against
fight
Francisco Vargas.
Yeah, they're going to fight Vargas.
That's a good fight.
It's a great fight.
Yeah.
Stephen
Yeah.
Smith is one of those guys who's just come up just short both times.
A lot of heart. He's
Lot
with
of heart.
with the Fighting Smith family.
Good fighter.
And then Abel Sanchez is going to be up there. He's got Dennis Shafikov fighting. That's going to be in a really good fight against Rene Alvarado. Alvarado is the one that dropped Gamboa in the 10th round when he fought him. And that's going to be an all-action fight also.
Doug, I was at Rene Alvarado's last
That's
fight.
HBO Latino, correct?
That's Latino, yeah.
Rene Alvarado fought Roger Gutierrez. He knocked him out at the
Oh, yeah,
Velasco.
from Argentina. He stopped him. That guy was undefeated.
Yeah, and Scalia and I went to that fight, and I got to tell you, Rene Alvarado, when you say gatekeeper, it's tough to get by this guy. This is a good fight.
Abel says
This is a good
that
fight.
might
If
be
you
the
want to
fight of
know
the
your
night.
guy is for real at featherweight or junior lightweight, put him
And this
in
is
there.
Shafikov's first fight at 130. He dropped down from 135 to 130.
Yeah.
So I think if he, Abel always has the guys in great shape, and there's never any weight issues. But if he can make 130 and be strong, I think he'll be a dominant force at 130 pounds.
Yeah. This guy says Jojo Diaz became a man fighting Rene Alvarado. There
Yep,
you go.
that's very true.
There you go.
That's a
JoJo
good
Diaz's
point,
first gut check. Yeah.
Coach, this guy wants to know, is that really LeVar Ball that you talk to every week?
Absolutely.
Okay, there you go. Bernie, 5 great fights, 250. I agree, Bernie. It's gonna be a great card. So December 9th, what you do, you go buy a ticket for the triple header in Vegas. You bring your cell phone, you watch I know you all want to see Loma and Rigo. You watch it on your cell phone, you know, but you go to the fight in Vegas. December 9th. It's going to be actually not a triple header. 5 fights you're getting.
Five televised fights plus an additional 4 fights before that. So it'll be 9 fights on the show altogether, and it'll be a nice event. I mean, the Mandalay Event Center. We did the first fight there with Obakar versus Oscar De La Hoya, and that's really
I was there.
Still one of my favorite venues. It's such an intimate place, and there's no bad seats in the place. And where in Vegas can you go into a major casino and sit on the floor for $250 to see that type of those type of quality matchups? You know,
Barbosa Box, good morning, Barbosa Box. He wants everyone to know that also Munguia and Joselito.
Right,
I hear a lot about Munguia.
Yeah,
he's a 21-year-old out of Mexico, right?
He's with Zanfer. And he's an exciting
undefeated prospect.
So this is top to bottom a great card. All 5 fights, every fight.
And Pedro Duran from Paramount here locally. He's going to be up there. He sells a lot of tickets. He's going to be on the show.
Are you guys the promoters?
We're the licensed promoter. Yeah, we're doing it together with Zanfer.
This guy said, Barbosa, Munguia, nice fight. Yeah, really. Oh, Munguia versus Steven Martinez. Check it out.
Steven
nice
Martinez
fight.
actually. That fight didn't work out, but Munguia is going to be on the show, and I think they're just looking for the right opponent.
Okay, there you go.
But he's somebody to watch. I've been hearing a lot about him for the past 2 years.
Doug Ryan Scalia says Joselito Velasquez is going to be a future champ. What's up, Scalia? I have your Triple G shirt. I got it at Nike Town for you. I'll see you soon. And
Triple G will be up there December 9th.
That's right.
Scalia says he'll be there
Mandalay
too.
Bay was his host hotel for the Canelo fight, so he's up there, and he's supposed to do a tribute for the first responders. So we're just working out the details for that.
Awesome.
For that
JP, what do you the month of December? Tell us your bets, your main event bets.
He's coming off that Sosa thing. That pisses
You're
me
not,
off.
does that shake your confidence?
Not at all. You always got to admit your losses.
You're going to take Rigan down now?
No, hell no. Lomachenko all the way. I've already got parlays going with Lomachenko.
Lomachenko decision.
We're going Lomachenko for sure.
Yeah.
Who's judging that fight?
How are you betting? You're just taking Lomachenko as
Well,
winner?
Lomachenko's a 4-to-1 favorite, so you either got to take him to win by decision, stoppage, or you got to start parlaying him over a few weeks. And I've started to put him in some parlays. A few of them fell off with Sosa losing, but you try.
You got to like Lomachenko with his size and just his skill where it's at. It's like off the.
That'll be my big take for the night, but I'm
not expecting fight of the year, people.
Yeah. Well, I think
it'll be really interesting for about 5 or 6 rounds.
Well, that's why I say you go to Mandalay Event Center and you watch that one on your cell phone. But I might take Tevin Farmer depending on the odds too. I'm a believer in Farmer's skills. I've got to look into Ogawa
What's the
a
deal
little
with
bit.
him getting shot in his hand?
He did get shot in the hand.
In the right hand, right?
Yeah.
He's a southpaw.
Yeah.
But Farmer can box.
And he's won like 19 straight fights. Something insane in Philadelphia.
He could fight.
What about Cotto and Saddam Ali?
I'm going to leave that one alone because Cotto's a 15-to-1 favorite.
Oh,
It's a little bit, you don't know. I mean, with the Saddam Ali being the younger guy, but I mean, Cotto's such a legend. But still at those odds, it's
high odds. I guess you could look at maybe if Ali could get over a few
Ali's
rounds.
moving up in weight too, I think.
Yeah, he is.
I think he is.
He went from 140 to 147 to 154 now. So.
They're going to have to give away some tickets for that fight. And I don't know who's going to buy it. I'm going to go see that. It's a big arena.
Hardcore Cotto fans, I guess.
Ricardo says Rigo puts everyone to sleep and everyone wakes up when he's holding the belts. Oh, okay. Oh. All right, Ricardo. We'll see.
Revolution continues.
Yeah, he's got his supporters.
They're still around.
No, they're all
An interesting
around.
thing about the wagering line for the Loma-Rigo fight, every time I bet Loma, the line goes back down, which means someone's betting Rigo.
Yeah,
So, there are supporters on both sides.
Man, Rigo's got his believers.
But credit to...
I like Brian, what Scalia says.
Yeah.
He's been living off that Nonito Donaire victory for 4.5 years.
Yeah, Scalia wants to tell you, Viva Manuel Char, new heavyweight
Oh,
champion
yeah,
of the world.
WBA champ.
What a fight.
Christ, yeah.
So this guy
against Usman.
is
There's
the
a guy from
WBA.
Usyk after he wins the cruiserweight tournament. You want a heavyweight belt?
Well, Breedis knocked him out already.
Yeah, Breedis knocked him out. That's right. Yeah.
Right, Breedis is a good fighter.
So Manuel
That's going to be
Char.
a good fight. Breedis and Usyk.
Usyk.
Yeah, so you were asking for my bets. Okay, so here what we got.
Month of December.
Well, we got Usyk is going to fight Breedis.
Yep.
He's going to go to Latvia. He's not afraid of anyone's hometown.
Nope.
And we got Marat is going to fight Dorticus in the first couple months of the year.
That fight might not go too many rounds. Two big punchers. I just think Marat's too
I like
strong
Gassiev.
for
Love that fight.
Yeah.
And we don't have a date on that yet, but we do have a date for Eubank.
I got some
and Grove.
insider information from Golovkin on Dorticos, so I'm
Right.
loving
From the
Gassiev.
amateur days.
There you go. I'm loving Gassiev.
That's
Okay.
supposed to be supposedly Dorticos and Gassiev the 20th and
January?
January 20th and the Usyk fight January 27th.
There you go. You got the. You always get a little
So
breaking news.
Two great fights back to back. Yeah.
Hey, JP, so do you think the Lomo fight's going to go the distance?
I personally don't, because I've seen Rigo down in Japan against a tall, lanky guy named
Journeyman, yeah.
Ryan. What's the name? Ryan will write in with the guy's name. Is it? I forget the guy's name in Japan.
Yeah.
Tall, lanky guy.
Yeah, but he wasn't a ranked
But
guy. Yeah.
Rigo's never been totally out, but he's been down in fights, and I think that Loma's going to turn it up on him. But I could be wrong. We'll see. Obviously, Rigo has his supporters.
What's the price on the...
Amagasa, thank you.
Amagasa.
Thank you.
What's the
Thank you.
price on
Thank
the
you, Mike.
distance, going the distance?
The price on Loma and Rigo going the distance, I'd have to check for you. It's probably not a bad price because most think it will go the distance. What's your take, Coach? What do you think, Dave?
I think it's going to go the distance.
You do,
Yeah.
but you believe Loma will win.
I think Lomo's going to win easily, but
Okay.
it's going to be a boring fight, I think. But well, it's not boring because it's so beautiful to watch Lomachenko.
He's the man.
I mean, he is.
Well, you know, he has gotten guys out of there recently with class difference stoppages, and that might not happen this time. So
Yeah.
maybe we're looking
I
at...
figure Rigondeaux knows how to survive.
Yeah,
I
that's-
figure Rigondeaux knows. I mean, you know.
And that's all he probably wants to do.
right.
I mean, if you want to go in there, a guy like him who just wants to survive, he's going to do it.
Exactly.
Just like the guy who fought Danny Jacobs.
Amagasa
After
also
the guy
ended
hit
up...
once, he just
That's
wanted
the
to
thing is
survive.
that's a perfect
Loma by
example
controversial
of what
decision, maybe.
Kovalev did yesterday as a big statement. I really think Danny coming off of momentum with the Triple G fight, you know, where his recognition was as high as going to be, and then he didn't really press the action against Arias.
No, that's what Danny needed to do.
Right.
Yeah.
He
But
really
they're-
needed to
they're-
make a bigger statement.
But, you know, they're discounting that like it was no big deal. But it was a big
was a
deal.
big deal.
I mean, that he didn't really do it. I mean, he...
You know, that's a great point. Kovalev did what you're supposed to do in the main event
Right.
on
That's-
HBO, and Danny
that's the
really
same
didn't.
thing. It was a comeback fight for Danny, and you know, they said they picked him out of however many opponents were
But, you know,
presented to them.
getting back to Kovalov,
Okay.
I think he's had this problem for years.
The drinking?
And and he said, you know, more than just the drinking.
Yeah.
Just his lifestyle.
Yeah.
And you could just see a whole difference in his whole being about what he talks about he's not in denial. And I think the reason that Abel got rid of him was probably due to his drinking problem or whatever problem he had, because Abel's not going to take any crap from anyone.
He's very
Stubborn.
regimented camp up there.
Which
It
is
feels
good.
like if one person doesn't fit in, it could affect the other.
Yeah,
So
that was
I mean,
Kovalev not wanting to go through Abel's system.
They
the way
just, you know,
the way
they
he does.
parted ways, but you know, Abel was focused on the Triple G.
You guys. This guy wants to know. Oh, thank you so much. This guy. Oh, thanks a lot. Appreciate that. She asked you to do that.
Yeah.
Oh man, I really appreciate that. Wife asking favors. Thank you.
No, but I think Kovalov's had this problem for a long time. And I just said before, I watched the whole press conference. He's a whole different guy.
He looks reinvigorated.
Yeah, his spirit is good.
And also, Kathy Duva was great. You know,
She's
usually-
always great.
I mean, she was incredible. I mean, they were on a giant high, but you know, I think this is for real, and that Kovalov was just saying it the way it was.
He looks good.
He was.
The Sweet Science wants to know, Coach Tom and Doug, what do you guys think? Kovalev versus Bivol. Ooh, good
It's a good fight. That's a
Very
really
good fight.
I have a lot of high expectations for Beeble. I think he's got one of the brightest futures out there. You know, Better Biev is there too. I just think Beeble is the step above Better Biev, and
Yeah.
then you know where you got the experience of Kovalev that rejuvenated, and then you know the class of Beeble.
I think Kovalev
It's
is
a
the
good
toughest fight for Bivol, and I like Bivol. I like Bivol by decision over Kovalev. I think Bivol could probably. I would heavily favor him against Beterbiev, and I wouldn't be shocked if he stopped Beterbiev late. As a matter of
And
fact.
Gavorstick is also.
Yeah,
he's-
Vozdik is. I think
he's-
Vozdik might be
The nail.
Bivol's.
He's the nail.
his
Yeah,
biggest
that's the best
rival.
nickname I think in boxing right now. Besides
Yeah.
Triple G, is the nail.
Yeah.
Coach?
The nail. I love the
Bivol
nail.
versus Kovalev. Coach, we didn't get your take on that.
That's a tough fight.
Yeah.
And
Evil did what he was supposed to do on HBO.
yeah, but you know the thing
the
with
guy out of there.
Kovalov will fight anyone.
Yep.
So that's real good. And all these guys, I think they'll all fight each other.
Yeah.
So that's a real good fight.
I know people are down on Beterbiev right now, but the great thing about him is he actually has a stoppage over Kovalev in the amateurs, so they could make that fight. Question for Tom is, when is Cecilia coming to the U.S.? I've been wanting this for years, too, myself.
We're looking forward to that. If we can do a fight with her next year over here in the U.S., that'd be great.
Man, I would love that.
She's such a hero in Norway and in Europe, and clearly the best female boxer out there. And,
Pound for pound.
Well, why would you bring her
the
here?
only active boxer that has all 5 titles, undisputed champion. And I mean, she's popular in Norway, Coach, but she wants to also, expand her popularity over here in the U.S. So
Christina Hammer's making her U.S. debut, I think, February.
They're trying to fight Clarissa Shields. I
Right,
guess they're
so
going to fight on the same show.
they're gonna
and
be on
fight
the
each
same
other.
show.
Yeah,
That's right.
So female boxing's on the upswing again. When you have when you have boxers like Clarissa Shields and Cecilia,
Michaela Mayer for Top Rank.
Michaela, and don't forget Eddie Hearn's
Katie.
Katie Taylor. Yeah, Katie's really making a lot of publicity for women's boxing.
Now, on the 13th, Doug, you were asking about December. Katie's fighting, actually. She's going to defend on Hearn's card on a Wednesday, December 13th, and that's a big day for boxing because Jeff Horn is defending in the morning in Australia on ESPN.
Wednesday,
So,
huh?
yeah,
I like that.
December 13th.
I like
so.
it.
And
I
so
like midweek main event type fights.
Barbosa Buck says Katie will eventually be the best after Cecilia retires.
Probably.
Maybe. Katie's
Is there
very
a target month for Cecilia's return in 2018?
It's going to be in the spring sometime. Yeah,
Spring,
maybe
okay.
March or April,
Okay.
or somewhere in that range. Yeah, and at some point, Coach, I'm going to give you the announcement for the Superfly show. We have the main event set. We're just working out the details of the exact date and venue, but it'll be February next year on HBO. And Rungvisai will be fighting against Estrada. That's a great fight.
That's
a really
see,
good
that's
fight.
awesome. That fight is set. We're
That is
already
a
starting
sick fight. That is
2018
awesome.
really well because we're close on the Triple G Canelo rematch. There's a lot of buzz about the heavyweights, but they got to get it together before we really talk about that. But to have Rungvisai versus Estrada set, that's awesome because that's an early fight of the year candidate right
absolutely.
there. That's can't miss.
With their styles, Estrada is more technical. Rungvisai arguably is a bigger puncher.
Yes.
But that's another one. There's not going to be any running in that fight. They're going to be fighting each other.
Oh,
That's
boy.
going to
Gonna
be
be
an
at the
exciting fight.
Forum?
Yeah, and then you got Groves
Trying to
and
bring it to LA,
Eubank. That's great that's
You,
already got
you
a
opened
date.
a flood of questions now when you brought up Superfly.
That's Superfly 2.
5 people want to know about Superfly 2. We're all in a row. Everybody wants to know, Tom, can we say, is Ankajas going to fight Yafai? Everybody wants to know.
That's one of the matchups that would be a great matchup, great unification fight. That's actually one of the ones that's been discussed in a way. Is supposed to fight on that show.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So there's going to be a lot of talent on that show.
It's interesting,
That's a triple
Doug.
header.
Doug has a lot of UK followers because immediately when Tom mentioned that, everybody wants to know about Yafai.
Yeah.
He's
Cal Yafai.
and
We're talking to
Ankajas
Eddie
made an
Hearn
impression
about
out there.
putting Yafai on the show, so he'd be a great addition to the show as well.
Sweet.
So.
So there, that's sweet science. We're answering your question. Tom just answered that. Inoue is targeted. So, so there you guys always get a little
Inoue is a
tidbit.
perfect example. You get your opportunity on the HBO platform. Made a huge statement against Antonio Nieves, who was came to win that fight, and you saw why everyone was talking about Inoue. I mean, he's just such a talented guy.
I want to say something about Superfly 1 and 2. If you guys get a chance, if this is announced for February, get to this card, because when Tom did the first show at
Sold out the StubHub.
it was incredible at the StubHub
Great
Center.
energy.
Coach Dave and I.
That was one of the best shows we've ever done.
One of the best fight cards I've ever been to. I mean, and not just the main event, from the first fight to the last fight.
Brian Valoria was in a great fight. Ruslan Madiev was in a great fight. I mean, Sinisa Estrada was on that show. It was a great. That top to bottom, that was one of the
Estrada
best shows we've ever
Quadros
done.
was incredible.
Yeah.
Just incredible.
That was the best way to start off the HBO broadcast, the triple header. With,
and when we
Estrada
walked in,
Quadros.
sometimes you go to these fights and it's empty seats. They were there.
Yeah,
the whole,
early. Yeah.
Early.
That's what I
incredible.
always stress on our shows. To a lot of these local fan favorites and ticket sellers, they bring a lot of people out early, and it was good matchups all the way from the beginning. beginning.
Bernie says, Tom, Superfly 4 times a year, one every quarter. And Scalia says, I will be there. Superfly 2.
We'll have to work that in the HBO budget.
Tom, one more question. Will we get Quadras Valoria for Superfly?
That's a great fight. That's actually another fight that's been talked about.
Okay.
But I mean, it's hard not to make a great fight in that division with those great fighters. But you know, nothing's been set on that. I'd love to put Brian on the show again, and have him on the show. And Carlos Quadras has really become a fan favorite. It sells a lot of tickets, so we'd love to have him back.
If the response here is any sign, Tom, people are into the Superfly series.
Hopefully we'll be able to announce something officially here coming up soon.
People are writing a lot of stuff. They are into Superfly. This guy says, I really don't like Orlando Salido. Well, go and cheer for Mickey Roman.
Yeah, then you cheer for Roman, yeah.
How do you not like Orlando Salido?
I can tell you why.
The only guy that...
Because of the Lomachenko fight? Because he pulled that mess?
I'm a Loma guy, and he low-blowed the hell out of
That was the only way he was going to win that fight.
He did what the referee allowed him to do.
Exactly. Yeah, the only way he was going to win that fight.
Interesting
and
thing.
He still almost... He was almost not out on his feet, but he was reeling in the 12th round.
Yeah.
He had him going.
Yeah,
Very interesting thing.
Loma's a stud.
That's one of the most interesting odds stories of all time. Lomachenko, there was, of course, 2-time gold medalist, huge favorite, all the odds in his favor.
Yeah.
He was like a 20-1 favorite in that fight, which is crazy now in hindsight.
I picked Salido, everybody.
Salido wins the fight.
I sure the hell did.
But what it did is it made Loma very reasonable in all his next fights.
Right,
Yeah.
He didn't have that perfect record, yeah?
He didn't have the perfect record, and when he fought Russell, he was a pick'em.
Here's the thing. This is why wins and losses, it doesn't matter. It's
So
your
true, Doug.
performance. It's what you do. Like,
So true.
To me, the one loss of his career was his finest performance. It answered every question I had about it. Can he take a shot? Can he deal with rough stuff? Can he deal with the weight disadvantage? Can he deal with all this adversity against somebody who brought, close to 20 years professional experience into the ring?
Made him a better fighter.
Can he fight past 8 rounds? Can he fight past 10 rounds? Well, what's he going to look like in the championship rounds? Look like a champion in the championship rounds.
This guy wants to know, Doug, is that Nightcrawler on your shirt?
That is Nightcrawler on my shirt.
It is Nightcrawler.
yeah.
So we got a few minutes left, but we'll summarize. Thanks so much, Tom, for your time.
It's always great to be out here talking with some of the most knowledgeable guys in boxing, and JP on the betting side is always great tips.
It's fun.
For everyone.
Tom, tell him to look out for the March 2018 edition of The Ring.
That's right.
Features somebody you know
who's gonna be
on the cover. Triple G will be on the cover. It's our pound-for-pound issue. Guess who our pound-for-pound number 1 is? Gennady Golovkin. And that's going to be on sale around Christmas time.
Mm-hmm.
But people who subscribe to The Ring, it's going to be mailed out, I believe, the 2nd week of December.
Okay.
So next month, couple of weeks, it's going to be out there.
And I'm not sure. Check the Black Friday sale if you guys want to get it on Ring. I think they still got it going on.
Yeah.
So.
$20 for a year.
$20
Coach
a year.
got in.
You can't beat
Yeah,
that.
I got in.
I got in.
20 for a
JP and
year.
Coach
I'm
got
gonna
in.
have to get one of those subscriptions too. $20
Tom's
for a year.
complimentary. Everybody gets that.
That's
But
right.
having Triple G on the cover, we're gonna have to go to the newsstands and buy some extra issues. And that'll be a great Christmas present.
This guy says, tell Tom Loeffler the God is Canelo, number 1. Oh,
Wow.
There's only one way to find out. If you get
There's
the
one,
rematch.
there's one way to
There's
find
only
out,
one way
sir.
to find out. Yeah, I mean, we have respect for Canelo. He actually, I agree with Dave. He surprised us as far as like his ability to take Triple G's punches and go 12 rounds. Even though I still believe he was doing everything to be evasive in that fight. But both guys will make. If we can do the rematch, both guys will make adjustments. I'm sure Canelo's going to adjust some on his side. Triple G's going to make adjustments with Abel Sanchez, and I think that's why the rematch is actually even more anticipated than the first fight.
If he wins, it'll make Triple G an even bigger legend. Whoever wins this fight, it's going to be great. So we got possibly Superfly 2 announcement. We got a little tidbit on Usyk and Gassev's fight.
Yeah.
Little breaking news on that. We got December 9th at Mandalay.
Yep.
And maybe Cinco de Mayo.
No, not
Coach.
maybe. Not maybe. It's a done deal.
Coach says it's a sure
You
thing.
heard it from Coach Dave
And
Schwartz.
if you can find a line on it, you bet.
that the fight will happen.
It's going to happen.
In Vegas.
It's an absolute 1,000% sure thing.
Now, if Coach is right, what you guys can do is get to Nike Town and get the gear this
There you
time.
go. We're working on getting more product Triple G merchandise from Jordan. So
Can't stay on the shelf.
it can't stay on the shelf, and we just need them to produce bigger quantities. I mean, they produced more than they've done for any boxer that they've ever worked with, and it's still sold out in 3 hours. So we're working on it. There's just a big pent-up demand. But there will be Triple G merchandise at the Salito fight up in Mandalay Bay because Gennadi's going to be up there. So any boxing fans that want to buy something up there, we'll have it at the Mandalay Bay merchandise and the event center.
So December 9th, 5 great fights, and you can get your Triple G gear up
Your
there.
caps, your T-shirts, your hoodies, you can get that all up there.
So were you going to run today, Tom?
Oh, yeah, well, I just made an appearance today, actually.
We appreciate it.
Yeah,
it's
really.
very special. Seriously.
So Tom's in great shape. You can see he's in really good shape.
And he had a lot of questions. People
did.
get excited when
Hey,
Tom's here.
So, but here's
Superfly 2.
Here's
people
the
are
really
hyped.
important thing.
Okay.
What about Caesar Diaz?
I know.
I mean,
very
here's
sad.
I don't know if
Passed
you
away.
all know. Here's a kid,
20 years old.
5-0, 20 years old,
7-0. Yeah.
7-0.
Yeah.
Really a good kid. Got killed in a one-car accident. So we know had to have something to do with the cell phone. He was probably on the phone. He lost control. He went into something.
Holidays.
Got killed. I mean,
You say it every week, Coach,
nothing
right?
matters, but I hear it. I mean, it really hits home with that. And if you look in Doug's Twitter, he shows the guy's first fight that Doug called. And
Beto Duran and Steve Kim.
Was that at
Fantasy Springs?
Velasco? Oh, Fantasy
Fantasy
Springs.
Springs. Yeah, I think his first
Springs,
4 or
the
5
kid-
fights because he was trained by Joel Diaz.
right.
it was his first fight. He was really good.
Yeah, he was from Palmdale,
Palmdale, yeah.
born in Aguascalientes, Mexico. He was a amateur standout. I mean, he beat Shakur Stevenson.
Wow.
Oh, right.
In the amateurs.
Wow.
Beat a lot of really top-notch, not just national level amateurs, but international level amateurs. And he was 5'9", and he could make bantamweight. He could make 118 pounds. His future was super bright. Very promising young man. So, I mean,
Man, horrible.
and a smart kid.
and a smart kid, but more importantly, a good
kid,
human being.
really good
The
kid,
most
yeah.
important thing, folks, is driver safety. Nothing else matters.
Yeah.
So
You
rest
do
in,
everything else right, but you get that wrong, and your life is over.
rest in peace, man. That's just
Yeah, rest in
terrible.
No, this
So,
is
Coach,
sad. This is sad. But you should watch that fight. Go to Doug's Twitter.
Okay.
He has that whole fight on
It's
there.
on YouTube, folks.
So, yeah, it's really good. And then they interview him after the fight.
Okay.
And the kid's sensational. So, I mean, it's really sobering. Very sobering, but it's really true. I mean, you know, like, I know this week once I almost looked at my phone. And then I thought about what we talk about. I mean, you cannot even think, you can't even know you have the phone with you when you're driving. You can't look, you can't, you know, we all think we're Superman. We all think we can do it. We can just, you know, take that one call. Might be your last call.
pull over to the side of the road, take
Just
the call.
pull over,
Bluetooth,
turn the
be
car
careful.
off. You can't take any chances. And but I've been observing about safe driving. I think that women take more chances than men.
Ooh, controversial statement to end the
that's
Periscope.
okay.
But
I know
no,
my wife does.
but no.
Time for me to go.
The thoughts and views of
No.
Coach Schwartz.
No, but I really do. I've
Strictly
been
his own, not
observing,
necessarily those
and
of
women
the
have more
Coast.
things
Ava,
going
I
on.
hope you're watching this.
Ava, I
You said
talked to
you
her
didn't say
about
they were
it.
worse drivers. You just said they'd take more chances.
Right.
I think they have more things going on in their head while they're driving.
More confident in
And,
it.
Sometimes you see
That's
women putting on makeup when they're driving.
All the time.
That's
Sometimes. I see that all the time.
No, the driving thing. But this thing
Please be
with this
careful.
kid, I mean, really is sobering. And it's really horrible. And it was a one-car accident.
Hey, thanks, Tom.
Hey, I gotta run.
thanks,
Take it
Tom.
easy.
It's good seeing you guys.
All right, go Eagles.
December 9th, Mandalay.
December 9th,
Yes.
Mandalay Bay.
Be there. be
Everyone
square.
get there.
War Eagle.
All right, War
See you,
Eagle.
Tom.
So, Coach,
Yeah, so it's just...
Chris wants to know, did I miss the news on Triple G and Canelo? No, not yet, Chris. It's
No, you
confirmed.
got
by
it
Coach.
for me.
Dave made the official, unofficial announcement. It's
Yeah.
on. It's on
Yeah.
like Donkey Kong. Cinco de Mayo, which lands on a Saturday.
That's-
T-Mobile Arena.
And
Las
Coach is not
Vegas.
wrong, ever.
No, it's, no,
yeah.
for sure. It's a sure thing.
So,
Anyway,
Tom,
having Tom come on here, Tom's the best.
He is.
I mean, he's...
the man.
December 9th, get to the card on HBO. Loeffler's promotion, help him promote the card. 5 great fights. Superfly 2. He even gave us the tidbit that Usyk and Gasayev maybe back-to-back on the 20th and 27th, which I didn't know. I didn't know that. Did you know that, Doug?
No.
I hadn't heard that yet.
No.
So that would be awesome.
Hey, so but the good news of the week, and I'm a broken record, but I'm really into Kovalev.
There you go.
I love the guy.
Turned it around.
I went from not liking him, almost hating him,
Yeah.
to I love him. I mean, that he came clean, that he's not in denial. I know we went through, it was either rehab or sort of like rehab, whatever, but he found it. I
He had a spiritual awakening.
He did. He was
You
sensational.
can tell.
Is it Coach and Doug is Adonis cursed? No, he just doesn't want to fight anybody.
Yeah, Adonis is living the life. I mean, he's having the career he wants. You know, he's getting paid well, and he's fighting guys he knows he can beat.
Right.
And he's okay with that. He's okay with that illusion.
He can't beat the Crusher.
No way. I don't think
And
so.
that fight's never going to happen.
No, it won't.
We don't need Adonis. We got 4 incredible guys in
Yeah.
Bivol, Beterbiev, The Nail,
There you
and
go.
Kovalev.
And they'll all fight each other.
Coach and Doug,
they
does
have
that
to.
mean Coach and Doug? Very nice how you guys. Does that mean we could see a World Super Series light heavyweight? I don't know about that.
No, you're not going to see that at light heavyweight. But you'll see enough of the light heavyweight top 10 fighting on HBO, fighting against each other, because they got Crusher, they got Barrera, they've got Bivol,
Yeah.
who looks like the stud, they've got Vozdik, and they could probably get Beterbiev,
Yeah.
you know. They could
I would
probably
love it.
get him as well.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If they,
They can do their own tourney.
Anyway,
yeah, it's very clear to me that HBO is investing in the following divisions for 2018 and 2019. Middleweight, obviously. Superfly, obviously. Junior lightweight, and light heavyweight. And we'll see what kind of awesome matchups they can make in those divisions.
You know, with Aram taking those guys away from HBO, I mean, they woke up at HBO, so they're going to have.
It opens up some dates.
No, we're going to see better fights.
Yeah.
KO Tickets, what's happening? KO Tickets. He always tweets
Hey,
really
KO
good stuff about
Tickets.
the arenas.
He's the best.
He is.
Got to
He is.
listen
If you-
to him on Steve's program.
And follow him on Twitter if you need
No, he's-
tickets for December 9th or any of these fights coming up.
yeah.
It's going to be
Anyway,
incredible. We got a great December, Coach. I'll give you the last word for this week anyway.
Well, hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving. And how was yours?
I had a great one.
Yeah.
Family there. Nobody stabbed anybody.
And you didn't have your.
Yeah.
You didn't do your
I didn't do the mailbag.
mailbag.
I didn't even think about that. I didn't actually purposely skip it. I just completely forgot. I was so caught up with
People
Thanksgiving.
want the mailbag.
I forgot about it. Well, it returns on Monday.
All right, there you go, folks.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. So, Coach, we got we're about 2 weeks away now from Loma and Rigo. People ask every week about that. But next week we got a few fights, and we'll be back to talk about them, right?
I won't be here next week.
Oh, Coach is off next week.
Yeah,
Okay.
But
All right.
I'll write the questions out for you.
There you go.
So we'll actually see you when we know the Lomachenko-Rigo result and the Salido.
That's right.
That's when
We
we'll talk
will.
to you next.
December 10th.
Anyway, I was looking forward to last night so much that I was sort of let down a little bit.
Yeah.
In one way, but invigorated in another way. So I don't know if you have time, but when we end this, maybe we'll do another one. I have a bunch of questions for you.
Okay.
Are
Let's
you
end
into
this
it?
Periscope, but let's run a few.
Thank you, folks.
I've been skipping ropes. I'm gonna run some hundreds.
All right, sounds good.
Okay.
Turn off. Doug's new phone is awesome.